Let's look at the Drivers' Championship. Coming into this race, Max Verstappen was 46 points ahead of Sergio Perez. He is no longer. He's only, I'm going to try and do the maths in my head now, 34. There you go. So Sergio's closing in. Charles Leclerc's dropped away a bit. He's now in third with 138 points. Carlos Sainz jumps ahead of George Russell. As we talked about before, George failing to score points today. Carlos now fourth and closing in on his teammate. George is fifth. Lewis Hamilton is sixth with 93 points. Lando Norris seventh with 58 ahead of Valtteri Bottas with 46 points. And then the two Alpine drivers, Fernando Alonso with 39 and his teammate Esteban Ocon with 28. So Max Verstappen had a pretty bad day today, but he does still lead the World Drivers' Championship. I guess that's the most important thing. And I wanted to get, inside the mind of Max Verstappen through talking to somebody who's known him, basically since before he was born, because he was covering his father, Jos Verstappen's motor racing career. His name is Olav Mol. He's probably the voice of Formula One in the Netherlands. And I asked him how he rates the 24-year-old Max Verstappen's form so far this year.
I think he's having better than ever. I think he's... The trick is he came into Formula One as the youngest, but his goal was to become world champion. He's ticked that box. He's not doing luckily, he's not doing a Nico Rosberg. Well, I'm world champion. That's it. Bye-bye. I'm out of here. But I feel I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another world title or maybe two. And then at a certain point he says, well, okay, been here, done it, dusted it. Yeah, I can continue for another 10 years and make even more money than I do. But there's also funny things in life. I like to go to a circuit with my family because him and Jos, they have a rally car, they have some Porsche where they do some track days with family every now and then they're having fun. And if you've been on circuits ever since you're 5 years old, every weekend competing, you look for some fun. And then you go, logically, you're going to live in Monaco.
Were you surprised how close Sergio was to Max?
It was necessary, so I was very happy about it. And then sometimes if he has a free practice 1 or 2 where he's 6 or 7, I said he's falling back to his 21 standard. I think the trick of the new car was that the car itself was neutral. It didn't have much oversteer, it didn't have much understeer. And I know that Max likes a pointy car. Why is George Russell doing what he's doing? George Russell is used of driving, with his Williams, because that's what he's done, is used of driving a car which is not perfect, but take 110% out of it. And Lewis had a 110% car, which he could, at 105%, win multiple races with. That still wasn't easy. That still was very difficult, and kudos to him. But right now, as Mercedes is in 22, it's comfort zone for George because he's used having a car like that.
Yeah.
And Lewis is just saying, but I'm missing this and I'm missing that and I'm missing this and I'm not used to miss that.
I had a wonderful conversation with Olav and it went on for about 25 minutes. And the good news, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see almost all of it if you go to our YouTube channel, just search GoF1 Show. Of course, we can't fit all of these, the full length of these interviews into our live shows, but we do now put them up on our YouTube channel, GoF1 Show, for your enjoyment. There's plenty of things up there. Of course, Olav is one of them, but there's almost every interview you're going to see now on our show. There'll be a full-length version, some behind-the-scenes stuff, some more amusing, perhaps, and candid comments, as there certainly were from Olav. So I recommend you go to YouTube and take a look at those after our show. Right then, Max Verstappen. We got inside the mind slightly there. Olav thinks he's in the form of his life. It's difficult to disagree, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah. I think you can always improve, but I think about 2 years ago, I could already see he had become a complete driver that was ready to win world championships, just didn't have the car. And I was especially impressed last year how he kept his cool when things didn't go his own way, because the Red Bull overall the whole year was not as quick as the Merc, but he still won the championship. Yes, he got a bit lucky at the last race, Abu Dhabi, with some strange calls from race control. But the way he was so calm and collected, and that's a thing in his bow that he's had from a very young age that's been super impressive. Because Verstappen's actually a very fiery character. He's like his dad. you know, but doesn't lose control at the wrong moment, you know, and he's able to channel that aggression very, very well. And that's one of his biggest strengths that I think stands out. Hamilton's like this, you know. There've been past champions in the past that are not like this. Alonso's not like this at all, you know. And you could argue that's why he's lost. He hasn't got more than 2 world titles. But yeah, no, you know, Verstappen. There are no weaknesses there. Oh,
yeah, 100%. And if I'd asked him, yes, there is one.
I can think of one small weakness. He hasn't done enough. He hasn't won enough on street races. He hasn't dominated on a street race yet. We've seen him win on a street race. We've seen him be quick. But I've not seen him dominate on a street race. And all the greats, like, have always dominated in tricky conditions, in the wet. You know, and Verstappen's done that many times. But I've never seen him dominate where you're just like, wow, at a street track yet. So I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Last time around, we were talking about the Charles Leclerc Max Verstappen championship battle, and you asked the question, can we see that graph comparing Red Bull with Ferrari? And your wish has been delivered, thanks to Tessa in our graphics department. Here it is. Look, and in particular, it's showing from the first race of the season in Bahrain, when Ferrari left Bahrain with a 44-point advantage. We've now got Red Bull 63 points ahead after the British Grand Prix. But of course, the graph is closing there again. That's why I thought it was good to show that today, because with the sort of difficult, almost disastrous day for Red Bull and Ferrari's very strong day, at least with Carlos, the battle continues to rage between those two teams at the top of the Constructors' Championship.